Okay, so today we will discuss about the two very common optic nerve tumors, that is optic nerve glioma and optic nerve meningioma. How to differentiate them, particularly on MRI. Remember that contrast enhanced MRI is the investigation of choice to differentiate between these two tumors. So first we will have a look at this contrast enhanced MRI of the brain and orbit region. This is the right side and this is the left side. Just look at the right side of the orbit. You are seeing the globe, you are seeing the lens, you are seeing this optic nerve region which has showing no abnormal enhancement. However, look on the left side, this optic nerve is showing a fusiform enlargement and is showing an intense homogeneous enhancement. So this is the optic nerve tumor, that is optic nerve glioma, where the optic nerve is enlarged fusiformly and the nerve is not seen separately from the mass. So mass is the nerve and nerve is the mass. So if you cannot differentiate the tumor from the nerve itself, then that is a diagnosis of optic nerve glioma. And remember that optic nerve glioma, usually it is unilateral, but in neurofibromatosis type 1, bilateral optic nerve gliomas in young child are very common. Another important point about optic nerve gliomas is that these tend to spread along the optic pathway. That is, they can actually involve the nerve. Then this is the region where the nerves will cross each other and there will be a chiasma. So they can also involve the region of chiasma. And finally, from the region of chiasma, these are the region of optic nerve tracts. So an optic nerve tumor, that is optic glioma, can not only involve the nerve region, but it can also spread along the chiasm and the tracts of the optic pathway. Now let us have a look at the contrast enhanced MRI brain and orbit. In how does optic nerve meningioma looks like. Now this is the left side and this is the right side. You can clearly see in a contrast enhanced MRI, this is, let me tell you a little bit anatomy. This is a medial side, so this is a normal medial rectus which is normally enhancing. This is the thin normally enhancing lateral rectus, and this in the center you are seeing a very hypo enhancing, minimally enhancing structure, that is the normal optic nerve. So this is a normal optic nerve on left side. Whereas can you see on right side, there is a thick sheet-like enhancement along the optic nerve. And this, you can see that in the center, the optic nerve is little hypo-enhancing, which is seen separately from this sheet-like enhancing mass. So if you can see the optic nerve separate from the overlying intensely homogeneously enhancing sheet-like mass, then that is actually the diagnosis is optic nerve meningioma. So you can easily differentiate now, whereas in optic nerve glioma, the nerve itself is dilated fusiformly and you cannot separate it from the nerve, whereas in optic nerve meningioma, so now this is this appearance, typical appearance, where this is a nerve and this is the intensely enhancing sheet-like mass along the optic nerve. This is called as the tram track appearance. This is called as a tram track appearance. So the question is, the optic nerve sheath is basically enhancing like a sheet-like mass in optic nerve meningioma. Second important point is the mass is separate from the nerve. Nerve is seen separately from the mass. And third is the tram track appearance, which is seen on this axial. That is where you are seeing the long axis of the nerve. So this is basically the tram track appearance. Now if you cut this and if you see on coronal images, that is the cut section of this optic nerve. If you cut this optic nerve, you will basically have the optic nerve and the enhancing mass around it. So this is called as the donut appearance. So donut appearance or the tram track appearance is seen in optic nerve meningioma And remember on what modality it is seen: on contrast enhanced MRI of the brain and orbit.